Shivers a little when I walk in. I don't know if that's out of fear of me or if he's got something wrong with him, but I think I'm going to have to get him into the vet if I don't see him coming around. And the yawning, he's doing that yawning all the time. Somehow I just don't have a good feeling about this parakeet, but I suppose my other option is take him back and they'll just put him down at the shelter. But something's wrong here. And it's not seeming to get much better. It's okay. There he goes shivering. Here's the sad deal, guys. I called the vet, and this is going to be up near $1,000 to check this out. They won't give me the free checkup, even though they were on the list as vets that give a free checkup for adopted pets. Because they said, well, if this pet is sick, then they can't give me the free appointment. So the appointment alone is almost $200 before they do anything. Then they need to do a crop wash. That's probably a couple more $100. I'm assuming they'd have to do a crop wash to see what kind of bacteria. They'd have to do a culture. They'd have to do an x-ray. They'd have to do the medications. And by the time it's all over and done, it's upwards of maybe $1,000. So I'm going to call the shelter and see if I can take him back. And if they have vets there, if they would take a look at him and prescribe some medications, I would still keep him. But I just cannot throw away $1,000 on a bird that very likely might not make it anyway. And that's, I've been through things with animals, you know. I get this gut feeling about stuff that a bird's been neglected. He's had crop infection for a long time. It can keep reoccurring. So I'm waiting to hear back from the Humane Society and see if they can do anything. It's only been, this is the third day. It's not even quite 3 days since I've gotten him. So I'm going to see if they can look at him. I said I am certainly willing to adopt him if they would look at him, or, you know, even just try treating him for a crop infection and see if he improves without all the diagnostics. You know, I find diagnostics sometimes in little birds and things to be just a waste of money. They can do an x-ray, do an x-ray and say he's got a tumor. Well, if he's got a tumor, there's nothing that's going to be done about it anyway, right? So there's no point in learning that he has a tumor. Sometimes I think just take the lesser approach and try a medication and see if it works. So anyway, we're gonna see what the shelter has to say about this. Well, I had a bad afternoon here. I had to take the little Budgie back to the animal shelter. It's a humane society. He wasn't eating this morning. You can see there's no droppings at all. He just sat there shivering despite the 80 degree heat. I had a heat lamp on him. I also had the heater going here to keep the room warm. And he would sit there and he was shivering, kind of like he was in pain. Every so often he'd flinch. He'd flinch a tiny bit. Give a little swallow, odd swallow. I was thinking it might be a yeast infection, crop infection, a gastrointestinal infection of some sort. She didn't seem egg-bound. I couldn't feel any egg. But something was definitely very wrong. And I had to take her back. And they had their vets take a look at her when they came out of a spay-neuter surgery that they were in. They had the vets take a look at her, and they agreed that the bird was had something seriously wrong going on. So they recommended euthanasia. And they apologized that no one caught this. I said that I had adopted the bird. I knew something was wrong with the bird, but I thought maybe it was just a really bad molt, and the lobby area where this overflow of small animals was kind of chilly. It was not a warm area. But whatever was going on, it could have been a tumor. The bird had not regurgitated food or anything like that, but wasn't eating normally like a bird should. So that had a sad ending. I had doubts about it when I first saw the bird, and thought I'd take the bird home and try to give him a good diet and some warmth, hoping it was just the molt that was causing the bird some distress. But obviously there was something else going on internally. Well, sometimes that's the way it ends. But let's check out our little guinea pig that I also got 2 days ago and see how he's doing. He's isolated from the other guinea pigs right now. Well, here's our little guinea pig. Just a plain brown guinea pig who was being overlooked while the fancier colored guinea pigs got the priority. What are you doing? Crusty on your eye there. Let's see. Although our little Budgie, ended up having some major problems. This little guy, he seems to be, let's look at him. He seems to be a pretty healthy little pig. He's only supposed to be about 8 months old. And we named him Sylvester A. Browner. I think he can, how you doing? He's a nervous little pig, though. Yeah. I don't think he's been handled very much. He's not used to being handled. He was surrendered, supposedly because of a landlord problem. Hey. He's brown. He says, I can be a... Look, I'm a woodchuck. He's a woodchuck. He's a groundhog. He can pretend to be a groundhog. Or he can pretend to be a... Put his ear back. Ooh, he can pretend to be a... As if I had littler ears, I could look like a subway rat. Maybe that's why people were overlooking him. He's a little boy. How you doing? He looks pretty healthy. How you doing? So, he joins our clan here. What do you say, huh? His diet before he came to the Humane Society consisted of just a pellet diet, which is not good. So I'm kind of glad someone gave him up, because he obviously wasn't going to be getting the good hay. He wasn't eating hay. He wasn't eating vegetables. He's been here now. This is the third day, and he's learned that red pepper's really good. At first he didn't know what it was, but he tasted it after a while, and decided it was good. And the first day he wasn't eating any hay, but he started munching hay. I threw pellets into the hay pile so that he had to dig through the hay pile to find the pellets, and in doing so I think he discovered that the hay smells pretty good. So hopefully this will be a happy ending with little Sylvester A. Browner, even though our little Budgie was not a happy ending. Another thing about the Budgie was if there had been some really long-standing infection, sometimes that can't be cured with antifungal medications or antibacterial medications, and sometimes it reoccurs again in birds, and it can be passed on to other birds through droppings and saliva. So I think it probably was more than that. If it might have been that, but it might have been something else. It could have been a tumor as well. What do you think of that? You like that, huh? My little sewer rat boy. He says, don't call me that. I'm a cute guinea pig, ma. So here he is, leading the good life. Lots of nutritious vegetables, lots of good Timothy hay, fresh water. And he's in isolation right now. He's in a separate cage so that he can't have contact with the other guinea pigs. But they can actually see him. If they stand up and look, they can see you, right? But you can't be over by them yet. We'll give it several weeks. Probably like to give it about a month. A month apart, a month isolation. And then if everything seems good, he can join the group over there. Right? What do you think of that? See? You gotta get used to being handled, because no one's gonna hurt you here. One thing I did notice about him is his fur is very thick, but it's very coarse feeling. So I don't know if that's from a lack of vitamins. Doesn't look like scurvy or anything like that, but possibly just a dull coat because he needed a better diet. As I say, the Humane Society was giving him hay and romaine lettuce, but I don't think they were giving him any red peppers or anything like that. So he still might have been lacking in vitamin C, especially if the former owner was only feeding him pellets. What do you think, huh? He says, well, we'll see you next time. Right? We'll see you next time. He looks like a big hamster. Look at groundhog, sewer rat. Whoa!